Hey, what's up guys? Spencer Rhodes here. So, if you have read the comics and you're up to date with the comics, you know that right when All Out War ends, literally in the next issue, after the ending of All Out War, there is a time jump, and the very first thing we see, the very first panel after All Out War, is Magna and her group. So, the TV show is doing a new beginning, which is after All Out War, and they're 2 episodes, almost 3 episodes in season 9. Episode 3 premieres tonight. Magna's group has not been introduced yet, so they're doing something a little different where they're holding off on introducing them, and I'm actually kind of happy about that, because when I first saw the trailer, the original trailer for season 9, I was like, oh shit, we're gonna get Magna's group in the first episode. Because I just felt like with the TV show, with the format, with the budget issues with AMC, always trying to be cheap and not wanting to put too many characters in every episode, and with the fact that we're kind of crowded right now, we have a lot of characters, 5 different communities: Alexandria, Hilltop, Kingdom, Oceanside, and the Sanctuary, plus the introduction of the Whisperers happening. Do we really need to meet Magna's group in the first episode of season 9? Do we really need to start developing them? Because we're having that time jump, and we need to catch up on all the old characters and see what they're up to, and see what's going on, and see them dealing with conflicts. And just kind of shoehorning Magna's group in the first episode would have been kind of rough, I feel, because you have to keep in mind, I think that the TV show works a little differently from the comics. With the comics, you can sort of have a bunch of new characters, and they just have like a few panels here, a few panels there. Some of them say words, some of them might not have any lines for a few issues, things like that. And in the TV show, it's just kind of more awkward when characters are really minor when you first introduce them. I feel like when Magna's group gets introduced, we're going to learn a lot about them. We're going to learn a lot about them at once. They're going to have a heavy presence, just because, like I said, I feel like the TV show format of The Walking Dead is different from the comics. When they introduce new characters, it's more dramatic, and they usually get more screen time at the start of their introduction. So, I do think that it's a good thing that they've held off on Magna's group. They haven't introduced them yet. They could be introduced in episode 3. I don't know. I'm starting to think that they might not get introduced until after Rick's death, maybe even the back half of the season. And the reason I say that is just because it just seems like, with the way episode 2 ended, with how there's all these conflicts and everyone has problems with the Saviors, and the Saviors are getting killed, and Aaron just lost an arm. I feel like the Whisperer threat is looming. We might see the Whisperers before we see Magna's group. And that could be what leads to Rick's death. So I'm wondering, do they have time to introduce Magna's group in the next few episodes? I mean, we pretty much know that Rick's going to die in episode 5. I mean, that's basically been confirmed. Greg Nicotero said that he's directing episode 5, which is Rick's last episode. Rick Grimes is one of those characters that they just can't have him like disappear like Heath or Beth or Sherry or Dwight. They gotta give him a real conclusion, and they're gonna kill him off. I'm sorry, but they are going to kill him off. If Rick does not die in episode 5, or at least episode 6 of season 9 of The Walking Dead, for one thing, I'll be really happy. And for another thing, I'll punch myself in the damn face for being wrong, but I'm not wrong. Rick is gonna die in episode 5 of this season. He just will. So between now and episode 5, do they have time to introduce Magna's group? Do they have time to set up that story and develop them with everything else that's going on? And there's another thing. When in the original trailer for season 9, when Father Gabriel is talking to Magna's group, he has like a goatee. Go back to that trailer and look, and you'll see what I'm talking about. He has a goatee, and right now, isn't he clean shaven? So, are they doing another time skip before they introduce Magna's group? maybe Rick dies and inspires the group somehow, so they become better people, and then there's a time skip, and then we meet Magnus' group, and that's why Father Gabriel is the one that's like interviewing them and questioning them, which it doesn't seem like that's something that he's doing right now. Maybe he does, I don't know for sure. But yeah, Father Gabriel has more facial hair. Oh, I mean, he has facial hair in the first place when he's interviewing Magnus' group. And right now he doesn't have facial hair. So I'm wondering, there might be another time skip before we meet Magnus' group, and that makes sense because, like I said, if Rick dies in episode 5 and we're on episode 3 right now, do they have time to introduce them? They really just need to focus on Rick. If they only have Rick for the first 5 episodes and then kill him off, they need to focus on that. I mean, at the rate they're going with the first 2 episodes, they don't have time to introduce Magna or her group of people. They need to just focus on killing off Rick, having the characters mourn his death, mourn his loss, and vow to change and do things better and honor his memory, since Rick has sort of become a moral compass and a really good leader that's honorable and doesn't want anyone to die, which, you know, gets you killed on the show. So that's just another indication that Rick is indeed dying in a few episodes. So I think that what's going to happen is Rick dies, you know, Michonne's upset, the characters are upset, and they mourn his loss, and they have a funeral, and they vow to be better people, and they vow to be at peace, and Rick's death is finally what brings peace between the saviors and everyone else. It's finally what brings peace between all the communities, and they want to honor his memory by doing better, and that's when they meet Magnus' group. Maybe that's when we have a time jump, another time jump. So I think that's what's going to happen at this rate, unless they want to just shove them into episode 3 or episode 4, then kill off Rick in episode 5, but that just sounds clunky. And out of Magnus' group, I don't know if they're completely going to be adapted from the comics. I don't know if every single character is going to be the exact same, because we already have a couple of characters that we're talking to Father Gabriel that seem to be a part of Magnus' group that were not a part of Magnus' group in the comics. I know that we got Yumiko and Magna. I mean, I think we have Magna. I mean, that one chick looks exactly like Magna. Maybe they changed her name, but who knows? I think that's Magna. And we got Magna and Yumiko, which I guess makes sense because I think they're, out of the comics, out of Magna's group, they're the 2 most iconic. So maybe with everyone else, they switch it up. I think we got Connie. I mean, there's a black woman, so that sounded racist. So it looks like we have Magna, Yumiko, and possibly Connie, and then the other characters are going to be different from the comics, because we had the one guy that said that he was like a teacher or something, and he does not look like a part of Magnus' group from the comics. So it looks like some of the characters are going to be changed into different people, but we're still getting Magna and Yumiko. Anyway, those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't be shy. Hit that like and subscribe. I'm not going anywhere. I make 1 to 2 Walking Dead videos per day, so please hit that subscribe button. Right now, we are currently at 150 subscribers. So I'm hoping that in the next few weeks we can get to 200. That's sort of my goal. So just remember that every subscriber counts. If you're interested in this channel, if you like my content, please hit that subscribe button. We got a good community of people here. We got good people that post comments. We don't have any assholes. I would take care of it if we did. So don't worry about assholes. We have a good community. You can subscribe to the channel. This is a spoiler-free channel. We don't do spoilers. We just make Walking Dead reviews, theory videos. You know, anything that AMC has officially released, we cover on this channel. So yeah, please subscribe if you're interested. Anyway, with all that said, I'm Spencer Rhodes, and I will see you guys later. Bye.